Hi, hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Miss Eclipser. I also go by the name The Jamaican Divinitress, and welcome to my channel. So if you're new here, today we're going to be doing what do you need to know now reading. These are your two piles. This is pile 1, which is the Page of Swords, also called the Valet of Blades in this deck, as well as the Six of Pentacles here. All right, this is the Toro del Toro. Let me see. It's the Tarot del Toro deck. It's a very old deck I've had for a bit. This deck right here. Yeah. So yeah, these are your two piles. This is pile 1 again, and this is pile 2. So I'm not gonna waste any time. This is a channeled art reading, so we're not gonna see too much cards here. We're just gonna be chilling while I draw and just read you what you need to know from spirit. So take your time. You could pause the video right here and choose the pile that you feel drawn to, and then go to it via timestamps. So yeah, bye, see you in your pile. Hi, pile 1. So if you chose the Valet of Blades, otherwise known as the Page of Swords, this is going to be your reading. This is also going to be your drawing. I don't even know what we're going to be doing yet, so yeah. Anyways, so let's begin. So what do you need to know right now? What do you need to know right now? I feel like you have gone through a lot of struggles. If you chose this pile, you're just now coming to terms with certain parts of yourself that you at first wrote off as something that needed to be fixed, something that needed to be addressed. It's like this never-ending feeling of not feeling complete within yourself, like needing to always create some sort of repair excuse. So it's like you can never get things off the ground because you're consistently working on yourself. Now, I know people like to frame working on yourself as something where it opens up more opportunities and you can make use of, tools better when you are more situated and grounded with your beliefs, your systems that you abide by, just making sure that you are in a whole, you're not just depending on things to give you value, you're giving yourself that value and permission. I feel like a lot of times this sort of advice or this sort of statement, when communicated, oftentimes overlooks the nuances that come with, this whole belief and practice of working on yourself. And that is, when you consistently work on yourself, at some point in time you need to actively put yourself out there to test what you're doing, if what you're doing is actively working for you. Otherwise, it's like you're making up excuses as to why you're not ready. You're creating this convenient pretty statement like, okay, well, I don't know enough yet, I haven't mastered this as yet. It's like these now, what should be helpful is now becoming your crutch to prevent you from moving forward, because you feel like you can somehow evade failure. Failure is imminent, but it's not something that should be consistently looked at as something where it's a testimony that you will never reach. There is always going to be a level of disappointment, always going to be a level of trial and error. There's always going to be a point where you are going to have to start over, but it shouldn't be looked at a disadvantage when it comes to that. I feel like you create these excuses very effortlessly. There's something very convenient around you that you can always pull for as your reason to not do something. I'm feeling like this pile is filled with a lot of creative people. Okay, doesn't matter if you identify as a masculine or feminine. This is my creative pile. Creative feminines, creative masculines. There's a lot of creatives in this group, whether you're masculine or feminine. Lots of creative energy, because I'm getting that somebody here, or there's quite a few of you that want to do something like Twitch streaming, some form of live streaming, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, something. It's like you are loaded with thoughts. The Page of Swords is definitely mental energy. There's a lot of mental energy, so you may struggle if you do some sort of content creation. You may struggle with putting your voice out there because you are very concerned about how to keep it condensed, keep it short, keep it neat and tight and tidy. And this feeling of tidiness comes from wanting to conform to the format of the algorithm, but at the same time feeling like when you do, you end up having to edit out, basically cut out parts that are what you deem important, so your message becomes very, very shortened. It's not even concise shortened, but more so less impactful, because you can't get to say or speak the way that you feel without feeling the need to consider people's attention spans or something of that nature. So if you like live streaming or just going live in some sort of way is the best bet. And your answer is yes. If you're looking for that opportunity, that sign, that sigil, whatever, it's a yes. I also feel like you're very hard on yourself because this page gives the impression of you, how you view yourself. It's not how people are seeing you. You have a lot of knowledge that you want to share, but you're thinking that you haven't yet acquired the language or something that basically gives you authority before you can speak on it. And I'm here to say, like, the universe, spirit, their spirit guides are not, they do not see you needing to gain anything additional. What you have right now, right here, is more than enough and is very capable of bringing about the type of audience that you want for yourself. I'm also feeling that the audience that you're about to receive, they are more so appreciative of the organic nature of the content. So less edits, more just bloopers type of vibe. I don't know if you guys are familiar, like some of you guys are familiar with, you know, when you used to see certain movies, you mostly see, like, I guess with the Disney Channel movies back from the 90s and the early 2000s, at the end of everything, including the rolling of the credits, they would have like behind the scenes, and you see like the actors and the actresses, and they would be messing up their lines and stuff like that, and you could see them interacting with the crew and whatnot. It was very human, like, versus now where you don't see any of that. It's just a clean cut and then that's it, unless you buy something like the merchandised content, like the DVDs, the rentals, and maybe they have like a director's cut, I don't know. But it's giving the audience want to see stuff like that. They want to hear the mistakes, they want to hear how you correct yourself, they want to see the facial expressions when you realize you've said something and you messed it up, and you go back again and you say it again, and they want to see that. It makes them feel like they're interacting with someone who is within their reach. Now, I'm not saying that you need to lower yourself or be reachable for anybody, but it's definitely giving that if you're trying to curate an audience, your audience is very much here for the realism. Because I don't know if you realized it, but a lot of persons are coming out of this trance-like phase where they were very enraptured with the untouchables, or what we consider the untouchables, like celebrities and stuff like that. Now it's more like you're seeing people at eye level rather than looking up. And it's giving more connection, it's giving more support, like genuine support, people who will actively cheer for you when you do get better, and not just people who, the minute you start getting a little bit higher than what you originally started out as, all of a sudden they are not pleased with your work. It's like, it's giving Meg the Stallion. I don't know if there are any Stallion fans in this. It's like she has a couple of songs where she has lines that imply this same sentiment, where the same set of people who used to clap for her when she was at a certain level. The minute she starts to elevate, which, if you're cheering somebody on, then that means it gives the impression that you're expecting them to go bigger and better places. And the minute that happens, all of a sudden the applause stop, because they say that you've changed, you're no longer the same you, and they demonize the changes that do occur, and you feel bad about it because you're like, okay, well, did you become nasty? Are they seeing something that you're not seeing? And the truth is, it's not genuine support. It was never genuine support. It's only genuine when they feel like they themselves can have it too. But if it's something that once it transcends what they realize that they can do for themselves, or at least they think that they can't do for themselves, it immediately turns to hate. And what I'm getting, Pile One, is that your audience that you're meant to have, they are going to be rooting for you to be elevated. And when the elevation happens, because it's going to happen, they are going to keep cheering. They're not going to stop clapping. They're going to keep cheering. And it's all because the realism that you allow, the vulnerability, that is very valuable. This is going to be very valuable. And it's not giving like, okay, this is just going to be a short burst. No. As long as your authenticity is a part of your brand that you're trying to build, you will continuously elevate. You will continuously elevate. And elevation isn't just, okay, well, you get a bigger audience. I'm talking about you're going to get very influential eyes on you because of this elevation. Not because you're just rising, but because they too resonate with what authenticity that you're putting out. Because I think a lot of people forget that although you're making content to help others, sometimes it's also for your benefit. It should also consider your own benefit, not monetary gain only, but just you as a person, keeping you sort of realistic, instead of thinking of yourself as beyond human experiences, if that makes any sense. So yeah, you're seeing yourself as a page. And sweetheart, maybe being a page is not a bad thing. There's this constant need to want to be the teacher, the constant need to be the person who's learned everything. What about the student? Everybody has to have a pupillary stage. And I don't think it gets celebrated as much as it should. So this is what I'm getting for you, Pile One. You're seeing yourself as a complete novice that has no business speaking or engaging in the things that you want to do, but your spirit guides are pushing you forward because this is exactly why you should do it. You're starting a journey. You're making your voice heard as it is because you have the capacity for it. And I'm getting that you always had that vibe, like you always had this support for quite some time, but you just now are more so hearing it than before. I think they've always been trying to communicate, like nudge you towards this direction, but you've been very adamant in your ways, very stubborn in your beliefs. You have a very clean slate to start with, Pile One. Very clean slate. This is the last message that I'm getting with this group I'm going to share. There's this episode in season 9 of Adventure Time. It's the Elementals mini-series in Adventure Time. I feel like somebody here, maybe quite a few of you, are rewatching the show, or you just getting into it, and you probably have or have not reached that point. But there's a point in season 9 with LSP, Lumpy Space Princess, and basically this is when Finn ends up turning when he goes to the fire kingdom side, and he becomes really violent, and it's not evil but more so very enraptured in being, I want to say violent, not evil, but just very much raging for no apparent reason more than for the sport of it. So it's like there's a part in it where Lumpy Space Princess, she was just like, she can't save Ooh. That's Finn's job. That's Finn and Jake's job. And now they're out. They've been KO'd basically in her mind. So she's like, why is it that she hasn't been affected, but they have? And now she's feeling the weight of the responsibility on herself. Like, okay, if nobody else, the actual heroes, aren't here to help, why then is she the only one left standing? And she is telling herself that she can't save anybody. She doesn't have the experience that qualifies her as a hero. So it's like in her mind, she already has this image of what a knowledgeable person, somebody fully capable of doing this sort of job. She has this vision of what they're supposed to look like, and she does not fit anywhere near that vision. So it's like you have this vibe where you're seeing yourself, you will always see yourself as never having the authority, because in your mind you've already created what that looks like. And even if that's standards that some people uphold, I want to let you guys know is that not everybody subscribes to that. In fact, you'll be surprised with how many people's vision and versions of what a knowledgeable person looks like, or authority figure looks like, very, very, very different than what you're visioning for yourself. Because spirit here is nudging you towards this, like, you have what you need, everything that you have, exactly as you are, no different. You're not like others. You have exactly what you needed to get your point across. You have everything that you need to impart some sort of knowledge, because again, this is the blades, this is the swords energy, so it's definitely something in the mind space. So it's like you have something up in your noggin that you need to share, but you're holding yourself back because you think you don't have that vision. But long story cut short, LSB, exactly as she is, she was not like a heroic person. She was not someone who knew exactly what she was doing. She was just being very vulnerable in herself. That's when it finally hit her. That's when she didn't even come to that realization that it was a solution. She just did what came instinctual. Like that moment of vulnerability, just that transparency is what led to her basically helping Finn break the spell of, being a part of the Fire Kingdom. And it all started with her just being herself, like shinyami nyami. Okay, nyami nyami meaning, she loves to eat. And she ate she ate a piece of Marceline, who at the time was a marshmallow, and it brought her to a happy place. And she confronted Finn, who was very dead set on in attacking Bubblegum, and Lumpy Space Princess gave him a piece of the bubblegum, and she talked him through it, and he was starting to remember what his happy place looked like, things that brought him to himself, this vulnerability. And so the changes were reverted. So that's another thing. Maybe you guys have a lot of rage on the inside. You're upset with how life treated you. You're upset with how things have gone for you. And just being vulnerable, like just being transparent, coming back to your happy place, which is to just remember these very non-special but very important moments, this happy place. It makes you the hero of your own story, if that makes sense. I hope I'm not rambling. But yeah, that's what I have for you guys. If you haven't, go and watch that episode, get the gist of what this pile is going through. You have what you need in order to create the abundance that you feel that you are in access of, but you're afraid to tap into. Also, this is your drawing. Hope you enjoyed it. Hi pile 2, so this is your reading if you chose the 6 of Pentacles. So here's your drawing. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I'm getting for you guys, pile 2, is that you need to speak up. You need to speak up. Whether it's to yourself, like actually talking about the things that you've actively accomplished within yourself, or speaking to people who haven't heard from you in a long time. I feel like you guys have maybe a Virgo placement or some kind of earth energy friend that you haven't spoken to in a while, and they actively want to hear from you. They actively want you to talk to them because they are aware of a lot of changes with you, whether you've said it to them at some earlier point, but I feel like energetically, at least, they're feeling like there's something going on with you, and it's something where you're gonna have to speak up on it. Whew, very uncomfortable, but let me just tell you, it is going to be well worth it just speaking to that person, and not just one particular person, but just in general, like people in your community. You may not think or feel like you have a community of any sorts, but I'm here to advise you that spirit is indeed indicating a lot of grounded energy, like people who are trying to get into communication with you. Not because they're trying to spy on you or anything like that, but they do feel like there's some kind of energetic shift with you. Not a bad one, definitely not a bad one. So you don't have to worry about that, but it's like you're coming into the season of really feeling more like yourself, you know, like having been in a hermit mode for a while, and then you start to kind of thaw out. It's like hibernation, like resting, like you're down and you're now thawing out, like you can re-enter the world as we speak. So you have sat with something happened. You sat with some experiences of some sort for a very long time, and now you're being asked to come and, you know, share your insight. It's similar to our other pile. I'm not gonna say. If you felt drawn to that pile, then you should go definitely listen to it, but it's similar to it, but it's not the same. Clearly it's not the same, because this one differs in that you have people who are being positioned around you at this time who are going to be very practical when it comes to you. So they're doing things, they're actively doing things for you. Yeah, that's what you need to speak up on, like just saying that you have some needs and then they're going to be fulfilling them. I'm feeling a masculine energy coming towards you. Like I feel like this person recently became aware of you, and when I say aware, I mean like they probably saw you somewhere. You probably came to their job or something, but they've seen you somewhere that they work. They either work at or near that spot, and they saw you somewhere, and maybe there was like a small interaction between you two, but it's like you have not left their minds since that interaction. Maybe it's like a small little comment, like, you know, like a hello, a good morning. It's giving there's some kind of exchange of words between you two. Very grounded earth-like energy. I don't want to call this like a crush, but it's leaning towards that. It's not quite there, but it's more like curious, like wanting to know how you are doing. And if they were given the chance to, and you told them, oh well, let's say for example you told them, oh, you know, you haven't had breakfast as yet, and you're thinking about getting it or something. This is a complete stranger, by the way. They don't know you from anywhere. They just seen you one time and that was enough for them. It's like they would ask you immediately, what are you feeling for? And they'll get it. They'll either send you the money. You didn't ask for it, obviously, but they just want to. It's like giving acts of service. Actually, there's a Doja Cat song released from her most recent album called Acts of Service. You should give it a listen. Maybe you're a Doja Cat fan. give that song a definite listen. If you're manifesting like dating prospects or anything like that, give that song a listen, because it's gonna give you like, I want to say it's gonna connect you to the patterns that you're gonna be shifting into if you haven't already been in that energy. Your energy at this time is attracting persons who are active, so they're not thinkers, they are doers. Okay, and this is not to say that they're impulsive. This is more so like, if you say that you're feeling for something and they are aware of it, they will get it done for you. They will assist you. They are not gonna sit there and wait for you to ask. They're very forward thinking, I want to say. Like, they anticipate what you may want after listening to you, and they go for it. It's just a natural thing for them. But yeah, there's this masculine energy. Maybe you saw them one time, you met them one time, you interacted them one time, but you're gonna have another encounter, and I don't know, like, I don't know what it is that you said to this person that was so impactful, but what you say the next time around, definitely don't hesitate to just mention how whatever it is that you're interested in, like, something, just say you need something done, and they're going to be very upfront and like, okay, when do you want it done? When are you thinking? They're very forward thinking, and they're not this way with a lot of persons, but your energy in particular speaks to them. It's like, if you say, you want to take a trip somewhere, they're definitely already there with you. They're in agreement with you. They'll ask. It's like they have this mindset, this role that they've created for themselves. They nurture within themselves. They see themselves as I don't want to say they identify as a duty of, but they very much have the role of a provider, married to their character. So they don't see themselves as separated from that role, if that makes sense. That could be a good and a bad thing, depending on, other things, obviously. But it's like they don't see themselves outside of a provider. It's like they see themselves receiving, but they've also cherished that aspect of themselves where they are active in providing to those who they care for. And once they have that in their minds, that you are someone who they definitely care for, they will do so much for you. This is definitely not a love reading. This is not giving like they're rushing to get into your pants, they want to be your girlfriend or your boyfriend. No, this is giving someone who has quite a bit, they've accumulated quite a lot over the years, and they do have enough to impart to someone else. They want to share. It's like this energy of sharing. It seems very fictitious and over the top, but I promise you, it's like this energy of, I want to share. I have enough. I want to share, but I don't want to just share with everybody. I want to share with those who my spirit is, in conversations with. Like, my spirit hears you and you hear mine. So this Six of Pentacle energy is giving, speak what you seek until you see what you say. I heard that from someone one time, and I love that saying, and I've been saying that more ever since. Speak what you seek until you see what you say. Okay? Because there are people listening right now. If you say that you want, if let's say you have a business, let's say you print stickers, for example, and you said, well, you need a new printer to get it done. Like, you have used printers in the past, or you're trying to get started into it, and you have this interest, and you show, you just say it. I don't know who it is that you're gonna say this to, but once you say it, just expect that the printer is gonna come. It may not come directly from that person whom you said it, but just speaking aloud, what is it that you want or what is it that you need? It's giving more so your needs being taken care of more than your wants. It's gonna come. It's showing up right there. I'm feeling like the people who are coming towards you are persons who they are going to act as anchors to your authentic self. So they're going to help ground you when you speak more on what it is that you intend to do. Not speaking all your plans, obviously, but just being upfront with where what's been up with you lately. I feel like you are coming into this period where people are just going to be giving you what you need. Not what you want, but what you need. Just speak. Okay, just speak. There's no shame in it. People are coming towards you because they genuinely feel that you are very capable of achieving something. I don't know. It feels something that it's been brewing for such a long time, and you've probably tried to do things a lot on your own where you just put out that effort to make it happen for yourself, but you don't have enough. And spirit is showing me you being given the most unlikeliest of sources and places to gain this assistance so that you can accomplish what you need to. It's like it's giving community. It's giving being a part of a community where the members actively want to be in community with you. I know a lot of persons, when they talk about community, they oftentimes make it seem as if, okay, once you find people who may have similar backstories as you or share same interests, that they will be just naturally tuned into whatever it is that you're on. But that isn't the case. I feel like community definitions are oftentimes lacking the nuances because it makes it simpler to just keep it like a blanket statement, just basic understanding of what community may look or appear as. But genuine community, because you have different levels, you have subsets within communities, those tend to be the ones that persons get mixed up with. So you could have people who have the same sort of history as you or experiences, I want to say, but they don't necessarily see you as valuable. And it sounds harmful, and you're probably like, okay, so how is it that they're in community? Because a lot of people get tripped up thinking that because there are similarities between two sets of people, like two people, that means they're part of a community. No, they're not. People could have similar things as you, but it doesn't mean that they're a part of your community. Or if they are a part of your community, they don't necessarily value the same way. And that's just the truth. So I'm getting the vibe of being introduced to people who their stories, some parts of it are similar to yours, but it's more differences than similarities. But they see you. They see you not of your potential of what you could be, but as you are, as enough. As you are, as you're not. As you are is enough. Not something that stands to be improved further before they invest. It's like you're ready here right now, and they want to be a part of you. They want you to be a part of them. They see you as something already, not something that is waiting to be finished, not someone who's waiting to be built. You're already complete in their eyes. And so whatever it is that they contribute to you is something that they feel like you've already been deserving of. It's not something that you're about to be worthy of or something that you're working towards. No, you're already here. This is where you're matched at. This is the level that you're matched at, and they want to give to you because of that. And the unlikeliest of sources is gonna surprise you, for real. It may make you wonder, like, okay, what's the catch? Where are you gonna get tripped up at? No, you're not gonna get tripped. These are people who directly are contributing to building your environment. Like I said, speak what you seek until you see what you say. Very simple. This is where this direct phrase actually came from a video I was watching a while back about quantum leaps, but the person who spoke on it, they have lots of videos. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. I know the face, but I just can't remember the name right on top of my head. But they have several videos talking about quantum leaps. It's a black lady, and she essentially says that you're going to see whatever it is that you speak on. Like, if you keep thinking of a limitation and you keep speaking of yourself within that limitation, that's all you're going to see. But if you want to move up towards something else, you're going to have to speak differently. And it's very active with the mood. Like, you're in this space where, I don't know if you've realized it or yet, but you've spoken already to the point where you are going to be moved towards you're attracting persons who are presently prepared to give you what it is that you need so that you can move. A physical move as well as a spiritual, mental, emotional move. Like, move. The people are coming in to move you, literally move you. So this is all I have for you. Hope you enjoyed this reading, and this is also your little drawing.